Welcome to Grandma's house. The time we spend together is one grandma's attempt to love and bless in Jesus' name. The kids you see are not actors, just real kids in a real neighborhood. Like any other, they are the joy of my life, especially when I see the little seeds I plant begin to sprout. If you have an empty place in your heart, please stay. Spend a little time at Grandma's house. What you got?
It's like an agate or something.
It is an agate, and it's one that's been in the creek for a while because it's smooth.
It's not smooth, yeah.
Yeah. I've got something here that are pretty rough.
Like this.
Oh, wow, look, the kids are here.
Hi.
Hi. I'm so glad you guys decided to join us. Michael and I are here going over some treasures. We invite you to come in and look at some of our treasures. What do you got down here, Mike? Show them one.
This one.
That one. Why do you like that one best?
It's kind of a rugged, then on the sides it's like all smooth.
Smooth? I like that one too. But this one is my favorite. Look at it. It sort of looks like a tooth, and it's got all those layers in there.
That's cool.
Going around and around. Look at that. Anyway, that's one of my favorites. I love the odd shape. There's all kinds in here, and I got them from all different places.
Cool.
Yeah. Do you collect treasures yourself?
Yeah, I collect coins and all that stuff.
Do you? Yeah. Well, where do you keep your treasures?
At home. Safe.
At home, safely in your home. Well, you know what I've always wondered about? I wondered about things like, what do boys keep in their pockets? You got anything in your pockets right now?
Yeah.
Are you willing to show me?
Okay.
All right, let me see what it is.
Got some broken bottle.
Broken glass?
Glass, yeah. And
Beautiful.
I was walking down the street, and under a big cup, there was a whole bunch of broken glass.
Well, lucky you. What else you got in your pocket?
Let's see. Got a battery.
Oh, that's cool. Does it work?
No clue.
No clue? But it's just in case, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yep.
Got this little guy.
Yeah.
I'm borrowing from Alex.
It's like your buddy?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. What else?
Got a sand dollar.
Ooh, I wish I had a few more of those. When I go to the beach, it seems like most of the sand dollars are more like 50-cent pieces. They're all broken.
You can find a whole bunch at San Diego.
At San Diego?
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'm going to have to go to San Diego.
Baby pine cones.
Oh, those are beautiful. I love those because they are perfect miniatures of the big ones.
Yeah, and you can put them like in a vase and stuff.
Yeah, awesome.
What else?
Got any more treasures?
I've got a rusty old nail.
Ooh, I think that's got to be my favorite so far. Do you remember where you found that?
Yeah, I found it in an abandoned farm.
Phew. It's got to be an antique.
And this is my favorite out of all of them.
And what is that?
It's the perfect skipping stone.
So it is. Have you tried it out yet?
No, just waiting for the right moment.
The right moment. Cool. Well, you know, sometimes I keep stuff in my pockets too.
Really?
Yeah, but sometimes it's not too interesting.
Like, what do you have?
Like, what do I have? Well, in my pocket, I don't have much. I got an old crumpled up poem, and I have, way down on the bottom, let me see. I've got some fuzz.
Fuzz?
Fuzz. You think that's weird to have in your pocket?
Well, not really.
Not really? Well, I know a lady that does nothing but collect fuzz. She has a whole board with all different colors and kinds of fuzz all over it.
That's weird.
That is weird. Tell you what, you can find more weird stuff down in the creek. Do you want to go?
Okay.
All right. I think we'll turn on our rock tumbler before I go. I've got some rocks in here that actually they start out like this. They're pretty rough. I find them in the garden.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And after I polish them a while, they start looking like this. You know, they look pretty good.
Except there's a little black on it.
That's right. There's still some flaws in there.
Mm-hmm.
So I put them back in the tumbler. It takes weeks and weeks, and I let it run, and I put some polish in there, and that puts the finishing touch on it.
So it's like you wait for perfection.
You got it, Michael, my boy. Let's plug it in and head for the creek. Roll up your pant legs. Here we
Okay.
go. we had so much fun today?
Yeah.
We found a lot of treasure down in the creek. All kinds of strange and wonderful things. I bet you can't guess what we found. What was the weirdest thing we found, Michael?
Crawdads.
Crawdads, yep. We found some crawdads. Why don't we show them? What have you got? You got one in there?
Well, I think.
Got a baby. Oh, it's so cute. Look at him go.
His name is Escargot.
Escargot. What a name.
And we got this one. He jumped in our net.
Yeah, that's the first time that's ever happened to me. Usually I'd go splashing through the creek trying to find him. They're getting away. And I think we have another one. Is this the feisty one?
Yes.
That's the feisty one.
Baby one is right here. His name is Shrimp.
Shrimp. Isn't he sweet? Look at the size of his tiny little pinchers. You know, if you hold him there, I want to show you on this one. Let's pick up this medium-sized guy we got. You see the pinchers on this guy's feet? I don't know. Can you hold him up from behind? And then look at the pinchers, even his smallest pinchers on this guy. He has them on every leg. That, you just see that? Look at him. He likes to flip his tail when he likes to go. He's trying to swim in the water. Get you. There you go, yeah. But even his bigger, his smaller pinchers are bigger than this guy's.
Like this one.
Yeah.
If you
Let's
get
put him in here
pinched,
for
you pretty
that.
much can't even feel it.
That's good. And then there's another old guy here. I think this must be the old man of the river. Look at that.
Oh.
He's got long, long eyebrows. Isn't he cute? The thing I like about this one, look at his claws. If he'll put this one up for you. One claw is much, much bigger than the other one. There he is,
Like
the
this
mighty
one.
conquering hero. That's because he got in a fight at one point. Woo! And at some point he lost one of his claws. And this one kept on growing, but he had to start from scratch and grow a new one here, so that one's smaller. But he certainly has an interesting life. Michael, we've had such a ball today.
Yeah.
Why don't we take these crawdads down and why don't you let them go, because we want to catch them again another day.
Okay.
While you're doing that, I'm going to talk to the kids at home and have them write down my address again, because I would love to find out about your treasures. I'd love to know all about your life. I'd like to know what kind of things do you collect. What have you got in your pockets right now? I wish you could write to me and tell me all about it. It's just a thrill to me when I get the mail. So, if you got your pencil and paper ready, here's my address.
Hey kids, Grandma Neil would love to hear from you. She loves to get pictures, drawings, and anything else you may want to send her. She also answers each one of your letters, so get your pen ready and write down her address, okay? If you want to write her a letter, address it to Grandma's house, Post Office Box 220, West Frankfort, Illinois, 62896, USA. That's Grandma's house, P.O. Box 220, West Frankfort, Illinois, 62896, USA. Grandma also loves to get emails at grandma@3abn.org. That's grandma@3abn, that's the number 3 and the letters abn.org. She'd love to hear from you.
Wasn't that crawdad with the tiny claws a real treasure? I have all kinds of treasured things in my house, too. Let me tell you about some of them. I love to make quilts. For a long time, I only made baby quilts because we were getting lots of grandbabies born into our family. This is one I made for Kristen. It took a long time to design it, put it together, do all the embroidery, then sew on all the beads and ribbons and pearls. And then to sew all these tiny stitches. Quilts are a lot of work, but I like things that take a lot of effort. It gives me a real sense of satisfaction when it's all done. I've made some big quilts for beds and some other smaller ones to hang on the wall, like this one with all the vests on it. It has something different and special on each vest. Sometimes I even enter my quilts in contests and I go to the fair. And guess what? Sometimes I win. I love little glass baskets too. Usually Grandpa buys me one for my birthday. Once in a while I'll buy one for myself, just to remind me of a special place that he and I have been together. Don't you love the pretty colors? And being small just seems to make them even prettier. Oh, and little tea things. I have 2 or 3 wonderful little tea sets. I have some beautiful little teapots and teaspoons and all kinds of tea things. I guess I just really like little things. Now you know about my stuff. I want to know about your stuff. Write and tell me about your treasures and the things you collect. You could draw pictures and tell me why they're so important to you. I'd really like to know. But before you have to go today, look straight into my eyes. Remember this, of all my treasures, you are the most valuable. My grandchildren are scattered all over the world. You're like hidden treasure. Just like the agates scattered in the creek. Jesus says the kingdom of heaven is like treasure hidden in a field. He's talking about you, you know. You are his treasures, and you are what makes up his kingdom. I'm part of it too. Jesus calls us his special treasures. He calls us jewels, like diamonds and rubies and emeralds. Just think, us, we're valuable. We are lovable. Never forget how precious you are to God and to me. You might feel like a plain old rock buried in the dirt, that you have no real value and nobody sees you anyway. Just like the agates I find out in the garden. They don't look like much when I dig them up at first. They're all encrusted with dirt and they're really rough on the outside. You can't see the real gem inside until you put it in the rock tumbler and the grit rubs off all the sharp edges. Sometimes God has to do that with his gems too. But remember these two things. God made you, and he says you are the most valuable of everything he ever made. 2, God knows exactly where you are. Sometimes God hides his treasures to protect them from other people who might harm them some way or try to steal them away. And nobody around you might recognize that you are a real gem. But that doesn't mean you aren't one. The real you is inside of you, and nobody can change your value. God and I think you are a real treasure. You know where I keep my real treasures? I keep them real close to my heart. That's where you belong. Be sure to come back and see me again real soon, won't you? I love you so very much.
This is Grandma's house. Grandma, she's a pretty cool lady.
I think in order to be a grandma, you probably have to be at least 52, 54.
We read and have snacks when we get here.
It's kind of like having an old man, except for she's an old woman. You can hang out with her and do a bunch of stuff with her and just talk, and she's there when you need her.
I love my grandma. I've only missed Grandma's house once, which I hopped on the bus and I was like, oh no, I forgot.
She explains to us like how people used to be very old and how they used to live for like 600 years.
When she talks about Jesus and reads about him, it makes it sound like he's really fun and it's really fun up in heaven. Grandma bakes a lot of cookies.
I love my Grandma Neil very much.
What more can you want?